All right, we're gonna add a leaf to this leaf spring today. I already did the other side, so this should go quite smoothly now that I know what I'm doing. This leaf pack came with these leaves in it, and I took them out a while ago to lower the Jeep a little bit, and I'm taking it back up. So this is gonna show you how to install and add a leaf that is going to fit. Mine I know will fit because it used to be in there. If you order one off, some Barnes 4-wheel drive or something like that, and it's for the XJ, and you've got stock leaves, and it should work. So it's going to be the same process. Let me set up my camera and we'll get going. All right. So you have to completely remove the leaf spring from the Jeep. It's held on by a bolt up here on this mount. There's a bolt here. I'll show you that in a second. And then there's 4 nuts here for these 2 U-bolts. So that's it. Once you get those off, you should be able to lower the axle down a little bit and pull it out. I've already got the Jeep on jack stands with this fully drooping. I have a jack underneath the pumpkin so I can lift up when I need to. I think I need to move it a little bit so it's touching so that when I unbolt everything, this axle doesn't just fall down. So let's do that real quick actually. Okay, it was lifted a little bit, so it would have been fine. Get this positioned a little better. I'm just gonna barely support it. And let's get going. So with my setup, these are 3/4 inch or 19 millimeter nuts. Probably cut these bolts at one point. There it goes. Now it doesn't want to line up right. All right, there's the 2 U-bolts off. You can see the axle is already detached from the leaf spring now. Moving freely, it's dropped down a little bit, which is good. Take these 2 bolts out. So this is a 22 for my setup here. I guess I'll lower you down so you can see this if you so desire. Right there, I think. So this is the shackle where the leaf spring mounts to the shackle. So got a nut on the other side actually, which I need just a wrench to hold. There we go. There's a washer back here as well. Okay. Alright, there's my bolt. Keep these guys together. Alright, now we'll go ahead and do this guy over here. You see that? Yep, okay. different size. Try 21. 21. This comes out, my leaf won't be attached anymore, my leaf spring, so I need to watch it. All right, just like that, we're out. Okay, this over here, that's fine. Okay. Let's take this over to the bench. Let's see, there's a way to lower this. Let's get this lowered down. That. All right, I'm gonna grab the leaf spring. Not attached to the Jeep anymore, so I'm just going to heave it out. Kind of heavy. Not too bad. Okay. Make sure you can see. Could be better. Let's do that. In this angle a little bit. Okay, so this little pin right here is a bolt with a nut. This needs to come out, and then both of these bolts need to come out, and then I'm just going to insert the new leaf between this last one and the second one from the top down. This is under tension, so this is going to be really hard to get off if we don't clamp these down, because as I loosen this, the springs spread. They want to be more flat than they are right now. And it basically is like a nice, really like a lock washer, a really effective lock washer. So I'm actually gonna clamp these down like this. Just hold the springs in place. So once I get it moving, it'll be a lot easier. Okay, grab my power wrench real quick. Now on my Jeep, I moved my axle back, however far that is, by drilling a new hole in my wedge and the plate that holds the U-bolts hold on. Anyway, so because of that, I have to make sure I get things in the right spot. So I'm just gonna line things up here as I remove them. All right. Okay, for me, this is a 9/16. These are Rubicon Express 4.5-inch lift leaf springs. Flathead bolt, or bolt head, or whatever you call it. Okay. That there. While these are clamped, I'm going to go ahead and take these out. I think for me these are 15 millimeter. Yeah, 15. Got a box wrench. Just like that. When the nut doesn't want to come out. There we go. Okay. Another one over here. should be ready to take these clamps off, put my new leaf in, and then put it all back together. So let's do it. This guy I'm just gonna lay in the right orientation, and remember that it goes not on the center hole because I moved my axle back. Okay, this is, can I pull it off? I'm gonna have to use a clamp to get my other clamp off. Come on now. See if that'll do it. There we go. I was all the way tapped out, maxed out on that clamp, so I couldn't loosen it anymore without putting another clamp on. Okay. There's that. I'm surprised these aren't spreading out more. It's kind of weird. Just the top one. Huh. I don't know if that's healthy or not. Anyways, now these leaf springs, the hole is not centered. This hole is closer to that end. So I don't know which way it goes, but I'm just going to try both real quick. That looks right. That is way off, so definitely this way. Okay. In goes the leaf. These Rubicon Express ones come with these little plastic sliders to help prevent squeaking, which is kind of nice. So, make sure those are in place. And this should be ready to put my bolt back in. Now this is kind of tricky to get this bolt in, but with enough finagling it'll go in. A leaf at a time. There we are. Finger dance. Okay, I've got 5 leaves on. This is a slim enough clamp, I might be able to use it to help me get the last leaf on. You don't have to do this, you can just be manly and squeeze it with your hand if you want. I'm gonna try this out. Okay. Make sure my plastic sliders are still in place. This one's fallen off. Okay, back in. Okay, that's where it needs to go. Let's get this clamp going. Let's see, I need to be able to. I'm gonna have to block the camera for a second while I squeeze this closed, maybe. So you get it close enough that I can one-handed close this. There we go. Okay. Huh. Oh, must have been caught on this or something, because all of a sudden it went real easy. Trying harder than I needed to. Okay. Well, that's good, I guess. Okay, I'm lined up pretty well, it looks like. Should be able to just clamp this down. Okay, get this one off. Cool. My bolt's in place. Alright. Just like that. Put my nut on. Surprised there's no washer. But I guess it has to fit on the U-bolt mounting plate thing. There's no space for a washer, so maybe that's why. These clamps are not meant for this, but that's okay. These are like light duty woodworking clamps, but oh well, it'll be fine. All right, tighten this up. Why is there so much space? Oh, You guys are probably going, what about the wedge? Okay, put my wedge back in. This goes to the front. Okay, on these leaf springs, there's 2 bushings, one on each end. The larger one goes toward the front of the Jeep. And I want my wedge, the thick side, to the back of the Jeep so that it tilts the diff back. So that goes right there. So I gotta, well that's good, this is gonna be easy because everything's lined up. As long as I can fit this wedge in where this clamp is, it should be fine. Come on. I have to just unscrew this through. It's coming. I do have a punch somewhere that I could use if I need to. Oh, that fits. Okay. See if there's enough space for this. There's not. So I gotta move this clamp over. Not a big deal. Get this in. Okay, when I put this on one way, it fits, it's cut a little bit of a curve to it that matches the springs. So I'm just making sure that I've got it in the right way. 2 holes, stock hole, moved my axle back that distance hole. So I'm using this one. Okay. There we are. Okay, that looks a lot better. Let me move this clamp now onto this. Make sure I really, oh actually, that's actually worse. I want to put it nice and close to this. Make sure I can get my socket over. I can. Okay. Zip this down. There's no science to this one. I don't know. There's probably a specific torque setting it's supposed to be at, but since it's under load or under spring tension all the time, I'm not really worried about it coming loose. So I just get it to where it feels tight. That's really, really tight, really a little over tight. That's okay though. All right. And this one's done. Oh, I guess I still gotta put these bolts back on. Should be simple enough. I don't think it matters what direction they go, meaning that way or that way. I don't think it matters. Doesn't stick out more on one side than the other enough to make any difference. Come on. There it goes. A 15 millimeter. Nope, that's 9/16, which is pretty close to 15. It might work just fine. That's the right one. There you go. Like that. I will make these face the same way, because why not? If you care, now would be a good time to throw some paint on anything that you scratched up, but I don't care. Not enough. Okay. Let's go put it back in the Jeep. Still recording? Ah, nice. 18 minutes, not too bad. Alright, let's see if I can get this angle half decent. Go up a little higher. Alright, let's see how that does. I think that's good enough, right? Pretty good. Let's see. Maybe it'd be better to be down in here. Yeah, that's probably better. Let's do that. Okay. Tilt this up a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. Grab the leaf spring. Remember, the larger of the 2 mounts or bushings go to the front of the Jeep. Okay. Just gonna get this front bolt in, help hold this. Maybe. Kind of tricky to get this lined up. Gotta get this shackle out of the way. There we go. Okay, this is close. There it goes. Okay, bolt's not all the way in, but it's enough that'll hold it for me. Okay. Let's see. I need my wrench again. Okay. Now you don't want to tighten these all the way down. You need to have the weight of the vehicle on everything, you know, before you torque it down, or else it could be not lined up just right and put pressure on the bushings in a bad way, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. All right. Put this back together. Let's see, where's my 21 millimeter socket? Did I bring it over here? Probably right over here. Yep. Alright, 21 millimeter socket. Get this going. Good enough. Loosely on there. And then I'm not going to put the U-bolts on till the end because I need to be able to move the spring left and right in order to get this lined up in the shackle. This part's actually kind of challenging. I guess it can be. Just kind of depends. This is all loose. Let me tighten that down. Okay. All right. Put this on. See if we can get this lined up. These bolts have grease certs on them, which is kind of cool. But it means I have to be careful when I'm installing it so I don't jack them up. Okay, I'm going to lower the axle down a little bit so I can move this spring left and right so I can line this bolt up. There's good. Oh, that went in pretty easy. Sweet. I've done this with the U-bolts on, and it is a real pain. If you're trying to do that, you can lower and raise one side of the axle to twist the spring so that you can get it on. Or you just take the U-bolts off. That's right, it's different size. 22. Okay. All right, that bolt's in. Let's put the U-bolts on. All right, U-bolts. Same thing with the wedge, or whatever you call that, on the bottom. I had to drill a new hole here so I could move my axle back. So that's where this nut used to go there for stock, now it's here. All right. Okay. Whoops. That's right, I forgot this one's like hard to get on. I don't know why this one is and the other one's not, but that's that's just how it is, I guess. That. Come on. Alright, I'm gonna just get this on even though I know I need a washer. Okay. Fix that later. Alright, washerless for now. Okay, so we got our bolts in place, but I need to get this on this nut. There it goes. Just wasn't quite lined up right. Alright, now I can get my washers on, at least on this side. And then I can zip this down, and maybe that'll help me get this on. This will work as is. Do. Come on. Feels like it's on, and then it's not. Oh, that's right. This was the one that was hard to get it started. There it goes. Let's see if this will catch. It does. Cool. All right. These are the 3/4 or 19 millimeters. I think I'm using a 19 millimeter. Same thing, don't go too tight now. Just kind of, oh yeah, I gotta line up. I almost forgot. Yeah, I gotta line that up. At the bottom, between the spring and the axle, on top of the axle that is, there's a, or no, the head of the bolt that holds this spring pack together, the head of it has to go into a hole on the axle mount, spring perch doohickey. And it's same thing, that hole I had to drill a new one towards the front of the Jeep. So I gotta, let me think. I'm gonna get this to where I can hang the axle from these bolts. So I can move my jack over here so I can lift up the axle while I'm aligning it, get it in the hole. From the middle, from the pumpkin, but I need to be able to reach it while I'm trying to line this up. Okay, so it's close. Let's see. There it goes. Okay. Now I can put my bolts on. All right. That does not need to be torqued down all the way yet, just like the others. So I think I'm back together. What do you think? Should be able to let this go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the jack back under the pumpkin, jack it up until it's lifted off of these jack stands, which means I'll have the full weight on it, and then I can torque everything down. Oh, I just realized I might need to adjust my shackle angle, but I guess that doesn't need to be part of this video. But it is worth mentioning, when you add a leaf and raise your, increase your ride height, you might need to adjust your shackle angles. But I've got shackle relocation brackets for that purpose. You might not have those. Anyways, here's my shackle angle. On this side, it's more vertical than it should be. Let's see on the other side. Also more vertical than it should be. So I should move forward one hole. So I'm mounted on the third hole back. I should mount on that second hole, or even on the first, and then see what my angle looks like. But I'll leave that out. Now that I've got the Jeep lifted up off the jack stands, we can torque down everything. I might need to loosen this bolt, or even these U-bolts again, in order to move that shackle. All right, in case you wanted to see it, I did adjust the angle. So it's closer to 45 now. In fact, I think it's just about 45. That's driver's side. And there's passenger. So it looks pretty good. You can see I moved it to the second hole there. It used to be on the third hole, as you can tell. So anyways, there you go.